Della Phillips. I'm an artist, among other things, as well as I'm known as the Bicycle Lady. How you doing today? I'm doing great. Now, please subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Help me out with YouTube, as well as I thank you in advance for watching this video and subscribing. So I'm pointing out, I'm going to be using my Winsor Newton Cotman Field box today. I've shown this before on the channel, as well as the additional colors I added to it. I'm going to use that to do a color mixing exercise. Now here's the piece of paper I gridded. I wrote the names vertically in different squares as well as across horizontally. That allows me to take the first color and mix it with the second color on the vertical and on down. So the first column would be lemon yellow with lemon yellow, which I will leave blank, and then lemon yellow with cadmium yellow hue, and so forth and so forth. And then you move over to the next square, which would be the cadmium yellow, then with the color on the corresponding vertical square. Here that you see, I've already mixed up the lemon yellow with the cadmium yellow hue, and I painted in that square. Now I'm sure you know I don't move this fast or paint this fast. What I have done is sped this up twice the normal speed. Of course, if you want to watch at normal speed, you can always change that in your YouTube playback of this video. Keep in mind it does alter the audio. Now I did just do the mixture of burnt sienna. I'm not real happy with the Cotman burnt sienna. It's a little bit orangey for me. I think it should be a touch brown or maybe a slight brick red hint in it. So I'm going to be using it up still. I can still work it with it. And when I needed that, I can just add a little something to it. Maybe like a touch of burnt umber. But when I replace it, I don't think I'm going to be replacing it with the Cotman's burnt sienna. I'll use a different burnt sienna. But it's good to know the mixture. And then, of course, the next mixture was the lemon yellow with the burnt umber. And now here is a mixture of Payne's Gray with the lemon yellow. What I'm going to do is I'm going to complete this chart off camera. I'll show you a good part of doing these different colors so you get an idea of what I'm doing and how I'm doing the mixtures. And then I'll come back and show it to you, because this I complete over several days, because I didn't really look forward to spending 1 or 2 hours doing the mixing and filling out the chart, although it would have been very informative and I'd still learn a lot from it. I still find I learn a lot if I break it up into smaller tasks, such as using it as a warm-up doing this before I start any type of color artwork each day. And that's what I did. So I'm going to let you go ahead and watch me finish up much of this row. Then you'll see a slight interruption, and then I'll be back with the completed color chart, and we'll discuss that then. So enjoy, and I'll be right back with you very, very shortly. Alright, I'm back. It has been several days, and I've done as a warm-up color mixing, and I progressed until I finished that. Now keep in mind, this is a medium tone here, and this is, if you flip it over, will be over here. But this is a lighter version of this in making the color mixing chart. I have learned a lot from that. Next, I'm going to make a glazing chart. I'm back. Now I have where I'm going to paint the glazing chart mounted to the board. And what I'm going to be using to make the stripe across here, of course, is going to be this color mixed with my mixing. And then I'm going to dip into the color and then just slowly paint that across and stay within those two lines. And then once I get all the lines across this way, let it dry thoroughly, then I'll paint down this way. What I think I'll do is I'll go ahead and do the first color, and then I'll go off camera when I finish this up, which will take a couple of days, because I'll just do it when I do my watercolor warm-ups. And then I'll be back and we can briefly go over everything. So to get started, basically, let me activate the colors. Got my little spray bottle here. No, I got my colors activated. Now what I'm going to do is the lemon yellow. I want to get plenty of water in one of the wells here. And as one person once pointed out, this isn't really a watercolor palette. It is actually a palette that was really designed for ink. But everybody uses the palettes however they want, so what the heck. Now I'm going to use my cheaper brush here. I'm going to move this a little closer so I won't be possibility of, and you can see that that color has been well used. You can tell I've been practicing a lot, not just making these type of things, but doing a lot of watercolors. But that's okay. I got a couple replacements that I can put in when necessary, so I'm not going to worry about it. I think I made up a little bit too much there, but I'll hang on to it. Alright. Now, let's just wash that out real quick. Alright. Now, let me wet this brush. It is fairly stiff. It's a Cotman. And it's, what is this? Half inch, I think? Pretty sure. Okay, so I'm going to get plenty of liquid. This is a synthetic Taklon, and it doesn't really. There's other natural hair ones and newer ones than when this one was made, that would hold more of the painting fluid or mixture, but it's like it's gonna go down pretty nice and even. Just making sure I have plenty down. Okay, so that's the first stripe. Okay, what I think I will do, instead of going directly to the next color, which is the cadmium yellow, I believe what I will do is skip and then go to the burnt sienna, just to be safe, even though putting this line in, it won't touch. There'll be a small space. However, best to be safe than sorry, as they say. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll complete all of this, and then I'll come back when I get ready to do this first line that's going across the top of each one. So I did take a couple days. It went faster than I thought. And I got all the lines of color down, and it's completely dry. So now let's start the second part, which would be to take the color here, make a line like that, going across all the colors. In other words, glazing. You don't want to mix them or scrub at it. So I've got my wells of color, some of which I've saved. And I'm going to be using my Cotman as usual. I did change brushes. That half-inch brush was quite stiff. It felt more like a acrylic paintbrush, possibly. So I'm going to use this brush, which you've seen before, my number 8 DaVinci. It's quite soft and it does hold a lot of water or paint solution. And what I'm going to do is do this one line on camera here, and then I'm going to take it away and finish it all up, and then I'll come back and we'll go through a summary. Okay. I'm going to only do this once. I ran out paint a bit. There we go. So now I got that glazed down, and I'm going to skip over one and then go to this one. Then when it's all dry, then I'll put the next one, and when everything is totally dry, I'll be back with you, and we'll go through everything I've done. As promised, I did go ahead and finish this up. It did take me a couple days, and I now have it off the board I had it taped to. It's interesting to see the glazing. Please ignore my lines. They're not exactly straight, but that's still fine. I did get the Payne's Gray, I think, just a touch dark, and maybe also the Indanthrene blue. We'll see. But it's interesting to see the glazes and how the color changes on the blue again, with how it's starting to get a green haze, even more so with the ultramarine, and then the cerulean. But it's not the same as when it's mixed. And that's a value of doing the glazing chart. Maybe I should have gone with a slightly less concentrated solution of these two and maybe this, but all in all, it's a good practice.